I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. This is the Billionaire Brown experience. Let's go.
Okay, so you talked a little bit, you referenced Gary Vee and the Tony Robbins earlier. Yeah. And I think I did catch the meaning of what you were talking about, because essentially I see it all the time as well. I see people, they'll look at a Gary Vee and they'll try to create their personality to be something like a Gary Vee, as opposed to not looking at his personality, but to follow his work ethic and the things that he's doing, like, consistently. What should we be taking from those type of people?
I have a big problem with Gary Vee. And the last argument that we had, it was very interesting because his response was, well, I have 4 New York Times bestsellers. To which my response was, Harry Potter is fiction, and that's a New York Times bestseller. The cat has done well for himself, but he doesn't tell the whole story about a lot of the stories that happen in business. So there's a misguidance. This idea, now I get that there's certain people that want to remain single and they want to work their tail off. That's great. But this idea that if you're not putting in 12 hours a day, you're a loser is pretty screwed up. This idea that he says you have to do this, you have to want it bad enough. I don't care how bad you want something. It's the amount of time where you do it. You got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. If you don't get up at 5:30 in the morning, you're not a winner. I don't get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm a winner. You know, these messages, and they're eaten up. It's like cocaine motivation. And then it sends people in 90 different directions, but it doesn't have them organizing themselves. Yes, he can be good for people, you know, for certain people that already have a work ethic or already have a business background, and it becomes that Captain Crunch. That's fine. But I think that people like him and Tony Robbins are very damaging for young startups, for people that don't necessarily have the money, and for people that are making decisions and giving up control and choosing to push things too fast. You can burn a lot of bridges early on. And yes, I'm all about failure. I think it's good to fail. I've learned more from my failures than I have from my successes. But when you do that Gary model of, I'm going to call these 7 people, I'm going to call them until they pick up. Well, now I'm going to block you. And it's the same thing on social media. You don't want to follow a Gary Vaynerchuck concept about what he's doing on social media because he has millions of followers. As you are beginning to build your content, your followers, the true ones, not these people that are buying tens of thousands of them, it's got to be authentic. My whole message is dialing into the originality and the authenticity, and not showboating in this just kind of cracked out crate. I mean, not trying to be disrespectful, but what has Tony Robbins done in 25 years? What has he built? Between all the experts that he's brought in, and he explains all this, he is a connector. That's amazing. But as a whole, he's able to get all these people doing work. And all he does is stand on that stage or charge people to go over to India or charge people to do it's an amazing business model that's been sold. But that model isn't motivating people to success.
So when you just was saying you had an argument with Gary Vee, were you literally speaking with him?
That one was online. I've been on a stage with him before in LA.
Okay.
And again, I don't see the harshness needing to be there. I don't see that you have to spend everything. I don't think that this idea, people talk about the need to hustle. The need to hustle is absolutely there. But your version of success, what you want, is different from mine. The car that represents success to you is different from the car that represents success to me. I had a Lexus 470 at one point. I love that car. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee now. I'm 6'4". The Jeep Grand Cherokee bucket feels more comfortable. The Lexus is world's more expensive. I like my car, and that is my dream car right now. So why do I need to go after a Bugatti? Why do, some of those motivational memes they put up, if you're not driving toward getting this 17 room mansion, you're not working hard enough. It clouds the mind, as opposed to saying, what do you want to do and what can you do today that's going to affect today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year? Can you find happiness in today? as opposed to this, you got to struggle and it's got to hurt and it's got to be painful and it's got to be awful. I'm happy today. I'm happy to be on with you. This is the highlight of my afternoon. I worked out this morning. I had my spinach kale shake. I've got one other project that I'm going to call it a day. It's a full day of making the time that I'm committing to work be as effective as possible, so I don't have to work 20-hour days.
Okay, so who's some people that you keep an eye on? Like, okay, let's say it's obviously not Gary Vee, and it's obviously not Tony Robbins, but a lot of my listeners, viewers, audience actually do pay attention to those individuals. So who are some people that you keep an eye on?
And I don't want to, before I answer that, I don't want to take away from that. If you can find the motivation from them and that's where you're at, but you can adjust that motivation to fit your situation, then all the better. The people I keep an eye on, no one's ever heard of. Because what I tend to do is I look for the smallest stories. I spend 15 minutes a day going through social media, just looking at the small ones, the people that are building, how they're doing it, what they're doing, what's going good, what's going bad. I was looking at a writer in San Diego. I'm forgetting his name at the moment. And he was talking about being stuck in the middle of a book and how he's handling that and what he's doing. I find the motivation for myself and even to help other people in the people that are right in the middle of it, experiencing the craziness of it. Now, on another side, I like there's this cat. His name is Roland Roberts, Roland Roberts. He's the former CEO of Hoverboard. This cat's all over the place. He's amazing. He's got a beautiful heart, a beautiful soul. He's experienced the widest array of success and failure. He's got a new project called Roberts and Lowe. That's one of the things I'm speaking on. I'm going to be at one of his events, and it is really just listening to him talk down to earth about success, about failure, all of it. He's a cat to listen to. Another guy I really like are Gibbons and Gould. And that's Carl Gibbons and Carl Gould. And they have this radio show, Quit and Get Rich. And it sounds like a little bit of a hype thing, but these are two CEOs that have run the gamut. And these cats know what they're talking about. They deliver a view that's their own with their experience and their authority in it. So those are a couple. But I really like to look at the people that are just doing it.
All right, the people that are doing it. I'm someone that's doing it, and I've been doing it for a pretty long time.
Cool.
You said you look at the good, you look at the bad. Like, I don't get, like, it. So on one side, you'll hear someone, a lot of people say it takes about 10 to 12 years, right, for you to really get a breakthrough. What do you think about that? Does it really take 10 to 12 years, or is it possible that you go from nothing to something within the first 6 months of starting something?
It all depends on the person. I don't think it takes 10 to 12 years. I've been part of projects where, it was scraping at pennies, and then all of a sudden there was $5 million invested into it 3 weeks later. I've been a part of projects that took 2 years to develop. I've been a part of a project right now that's still 5 years, that's been going for 5 years. It depends on the person. And then at the same time, what they choose to do, when they're able to say, not, am I making the same mistakes? Where do I correct? Where do I course correct? Where do I, redirect? And so some of these people, and I think that goes into the hustle thing. I'm just going to keep pounding. I'm going to keep pounding. I'm like, you're building a road that's heading toward a cliff, and you just keep heading toward that cliff. So it's going to fall off, as opposed to let's navigate, let's redirect. So no, I don't buy that 10-year thing. I think it's important to bring people in, not necessarily to hire someone like me for a project, but bringing someone like me in for an hour or two to say, okay, let's do an evaluation or an audit of what you got, what's worked, what hasn't worked, where you're at, what you're seeing that's happening, what you're seeing that isn't happening, and let's build a plan for you to execute so that you can use everything good and bad that you've had before and then move it to where you want it to be.
Is there ever a reason you would pay Gary Vaynerchuck or Tony Robbins $100,000 for something?
Absolutely.
For your company? No? Really? Nothing.
I would not spend a penny in either of those places. And I have had 5 clients now that have spent the better part of $250,000 with the Tony Robbins systems. And then they come to me and we do it for less than 90% what they were going after. I mean, I don't see, I mean, when you sit here, it's motivation and okay, great. So you've got a certified Gary coach, or you can get to Gary, or a certified Tony coach. I can't name the names. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. I have Tony Robbins coaches that call and consult with me, and I don't do it anymore. I feel like it's selling out. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're getting paid this top dollar. You're coming here to get these ideas from me. You're scamming people. This certified life coach, this certified brand strategist, it's all BS. I wouldn't pay them a penny. I want to be down on the ground. And my whole thing with people is, the less pennies you can spend, if you can work with someone like myself or other strategists that develop what we do with blueprints, and then you can get away from us and save the money and do it yourself till you need your funding or till you have the crowd that you want, that's better. I don't like return business. Because I think a lot of people that do what I do, it's that fishing thing. I'm going to go fishing for you. I'm never going to teach you to fish. I want to teach you how to fish. But at the same time, in branding, I have to remind you how to fish. You already have all the skills and all the knowledge, and you know your background and you know you better than you realize. But you've oftentimes clouded that message because other people are saying things that worked for them that don't relate to your story or your vision.
What do you think about cryptocurrency?
I've been studying it.
You own any crypto? You got any Bitcoins?
I got none. I got 3 different people trying to sell me. I'm really torn about it because I hear it's weird. There's never been something that in starting to study it in the last 6 months that's been so positive and so negative at once. So I'm not sure. I'm continuing to keep an eye on it, and I look at it every single day. But I have not dropped. I've not dropped the money yet.
Okay. Do you think is it legit?
I'm not sure. I mean, it seems like it. It's strange. I mean, I've everything that I look at, I see as a proof of concept. So I try to look at all sides of the coin. Oh, that was bad. And I see some people that are saying stuff, and then I grill them, and I'm like, well, can you pull it out? Can you grab this? And there was a guy that took me out to lunch, and he had one of those PayPal Bitcoin cards, and he showed me, and he says, he goes, watch. Here's my Bitcoin account. I'm going to transfer this money and I'm going to buy you lunch with it. And I'm like, okay, so there is a tangible translation. So that's cool. I'm confused. I'm the first person, when I don't know something, I'll say I don't know. And I don't know yet. And
what are you confused about?
The long-term viability. I mean, I see multimillionaires jumping in, then I see other ones jumping out. I see, everything from the conspiracy stories. It's so interesting, but I'm not ready yet to put into it, but I still am thinking about it.
Okay, cool.
Dental problems don't get better the longer you wait. They just get worse and more expensive. The #1 dental plan in America today guarantees to save you 20 to 80% on all dental procedures you can get done in the dental office. Regular teeth cleanings all the way up to cosmetic dentistry. No waiting periods. Contact a benefit consultant immediately to find out what open enrollment specials are available in your state today. 888-674-9409.